Nobody wants it, but everybody's going to get it. That's a government shutdown I'm talking about. There is zero sign at this hour Washington will swerve from the path it's been on basically for months to leave the government unfunded as of midnight tonight and force federal workers in essential tasks to work without pay and others to be furloughed with a very uncertain future and with a consequential elimination in services you may or may not notice. Now, economically, shutdowns like this are mildly disruptive, a tenth of a percentage point or two shaved from gross domestic product, depending on how long things last. For what it's worth, today the stock market shrugged in been there, done that boredom. As always, there is no shortage of sound and fury, this a rhetorical placeholder for work to end the impasse. So in order, sound-wise, President Trump, House Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and lastly, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Listen.
We'll probably have a shutdown because one of the things they want to do is they want to give incredible Medicare, the Cadillac Medicare, to illegal immigrants. And what that does is it keeps them coming into our country, and like they do in California.
Whether or not the government shuts down at midnight is entirely up to two people. It's Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, primarily Chuck Schumer. I want to tell you that I spent time with them yesterday. Of course, we were in the Oval Office. They are pursuing a very reckless strategy right now, and for the life of me, I cannot understand what they hope to accomplish other than giving themselves temporary political cover from the far left portion of their base, who are demanding that they fight Trump.
In the White House meeting yesterday, Speaker Johnson made it perfectly clear he didn't care if people's premiums should go up because his conference is against it. And so again, the House isn't even set to come back until October 7th. You tell me which side is actively manufacturing a shutdown.
Democrats are here on duty, fighting on behalf of the American people, ready to fund the government in a way that lifts up their quality of life. House Democrats are on duty. House Republicans are on vacation.
One matter to clear up on health care for those in our country illegally. It is against the law to sign up and receive those direct Medicare or Medicaid benefits. But Republicans argue, and this is important, if changes to Medicaid that they made during discussion and then enactment of the so-called Big Beautiful Bill are removed, and that's something Democrats support, then federal dollars will flow to states that will allow those states, if they so choose, to use other funds to provide health care to undocumented residents in those states. It's about indirect support, not direct federal dollars, but it is a powerful talking point. And Republicans have used and will probably continue to use it with gusto. Now, there is a way out of all this. A bill that funds current operations for 7 weeks. The House passed it. The Senate, where Republicans need 60 votes and therefore help from at least 7 Democrats, didn't. Now, a vote on that bill is set to play out at this hour. It has failed once, as I just indicated, and is expected to fail again. We will keep you posted. The Administrator of the Small Business Administration, Kelly Loeffler, joins me now. Madam Administrator, great to have you. I know you don't want to shut down, but if there is one, and we're getting very close to it, what will you not be able to do tomorrow that you do today?
Well, thank you, Major. Look, what we can't do tomorrow that we're doing today is what we're doing at record levels, which was providing access to capital for Main Street businesses, small businesses that make up 99% of all businesses across America, to the tune of something like $160 million each and every week going out the door to small businesses that will stop to over 1,600 small businesses. So what does that mean? It means Main Street businesses won't get the funding that they thought they would get from their local lender to hire, to invest, to grow on Main Street. And that $860 million week after week adds up to billions of dollars. And the SBA has set a record this year in SBA lending to the tune of $45 billion across small businesses across this country. And that's the economic heartbeat of our country.
The director of the Office of Management and Budget has said if there is a shutdown, there would be an opportunity to lay off permanently non-productive members of various agencies or those who don't support the Trump agenda. Does that mean anyone who works for you?
Well, look, we have the ability to do that under statute, under our regulatory authority in areas that aren't funded past the shutdown, which is today. The Schumer shutdown doesn't have to happen. Democrats have had every reasonable opportunity to get on board with this bipartisan legislation in the House and in the Senate to keep the government functioning for our military, for our farmers, for our small businesses, for families, working families who rely on nutrition assistance. We have to make sure that this government stays open to serve the American people. This short stopgap funding bill will get us through to November when we can have the broader conversation. But look, Democrats hate the president's agenda because it's winning, and they're resentful. They want to shut the government down to make the American people pay a price, and we think it's wrong.
You said you have the power to do this. Would anyone in your agency be let go for good if there is a shutdown?
Look, we have a program in place. If this were to happen, we hope it doesn't happen. We run this agency very lean for the support of taxpayers and small businesses. But to the extent that those programs no longer have funding, we may have to do that. And we'll look at that and take steps as needed.
Madam Administrator, I want to read to you something that came from the Chamber of Commerce's third quarter 2025 Small Business Index. It said inflation remains a top concern for 46% of small businesses. Many are raising prices, 55% according to that survey, or adjusting supply chains, 36%, to offset what they described to the surveyors as higher costs. Is that a problem?
Look, small business optimism is at record highs, at least since 2017. We see it at the U.S. Chamber data. We see it in NFIB data, above the 53-year optimism average. Small businesses' number one concern right now is access to skilled labor. That's because President Trump has solved inflation. He's cutting regulation. The largest working family small business Main Street tax cut in American history. We're establishing fair trade. Small businesses want to make sure the government's functioning so that they can serve their customers on Main Street. And this Schumer shutdown will hurt small businesses. It will hurt working families, hardworking military members, and farmers. And we have to make sure that doesn't happen because President Trump has gotten this economy back on the right track.
You mentioned farmers a couple of times, Administrator Loeffler. The president has indicated, at least rhetorically in the last week, that there may be the need for a farm bailout to offset some of the hardships imposed by tariffs. Those are his words, not mine. What do you know about that?
Well, look, I know that Secretary Rollins is working closely with President Trump. I know that fair trade is important to our farmers. I grew up on a farm. I know that rural America depends on fair trade. We haven't had that for a very long time. President Trump fought for it in his first term. He succeeded with it. He's going to do that again. And what I'm focused on is making sure that Main Street America is there for our rural communities, for our farmers, that the access to capital that they need is there. But the Schumer shutdowns threatens all of that. It threatens our farmers who rely on lending. It threatens small businesses who rely on it. And that's who President Trump supports, our small businesses, our farmers, and that's who Schumer is standing against.
Let me quantify the problem you raised a moment ago, Administrator Loeffler, about job openings. In that Chamber of Commerce survey, 34% of small businesses said they had unfilled job openings. 47% said they could not find qualified applicants. How do you solve that?
Well, we're working on that at the SBA. We've partnered with the Department of Labor, with Secretary Chavez DeRaymer. We're traveling across the country, going to trade schools, meeting with small businesses, ensuring that we hear from them firsthand where they could use additional support. Department of Labor has incredible grant programs. The Small Business Administration is under our MOU working together to ensure that small businesses have the workforce of the future. And we know that there are over 1 million open jobs in this country, and we're working hard to fill those for Main Street businesses who are ready to grow thanks to President Trump's tax cuts.
SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Administrator Loeffler, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Major.